What's up guys, it's Drac, and today we're reviewing this, a gel blaster by any other name. All right, so I found this one on Walmart.com and it was only 25 bucks, so it seemed like it was worth taking a risk on, and the plot thickens. It seems like the further I delve into this, the more interested I am in some of the marketing and how it sort of seems to have come out of nowhere. Now, it's no secret that as of, I guess, a couple of years ago, water BB blasters and gel blasters have been kind of becoming more and more prevalent in America, which is really interesting because they're banned in so many parts of the world due to similarities with paintball and airsoft and kind of the milsim sort of thing that they're taking over, and how that space has become less competitive and allowed these kind of, you know, toy-esque alternatives to come in. And this seems to be very disconnected from that motive. Usually, it'll be an airsoft company that can't make airsoft guns anymore, and then they start making gel blaster guns until they can't make gel blaster guns anymore, or water BBs, or what have you. This seems just fundamentally disconnected. It seems like it was built ground up from a toy company, and that's where the plot and the mystery kind of thickens for me. So if you look at the box packaging here, you can see that it says Primetime International on it. That's very fascinating because they're the company responsible for the Dart Zone, Nexus, Pro, etc., and have really sort of taken over that space in terms of a performance or a cost value analysis from a kind of retailer exclusive perspective. I mean, after all, nothing on Walmart shelves does what the Aeon Pro does, even remotely close to its price point. And that is this thing's price point. So this is the same cost as an Aeon Pro with relatively similar design language, and you see on this photo here of the product that it says powered by PTDZ, and that is of course echoed on every Nexus Pro, on the magazines, etc., and so forth. So I'm like really stoked. And then also as kind of an interesting thing, I love the idea of Next Level X, including Patrick Chapin's work from way back when, and websites that have since passed. But here we have Next Level Fun Blast Gel Water Beads, and then the most important thing is that this is an all-in-one kit to get you gel blasting at $25, which is frankly insane because the cheapest all-in-one kit has been for this Scorpion, and this was like $70 on sale. So this is literally less than it's a third of the price, and it comes with as much stuff, but what it doesn't come with is batteries. So this one is spring powered, but still theoretically, if the marketing is to be believed, velocities up to 160 FPS performs better than this. Now, I'm sure that it won't be full auto at that price point, but if this is taking the Springer expertise that leads to, you know, the Aeon Pro and the Nexus Pro and gives it to us at a $25 price point, is this kind of the vector that allows us to start having gel blaster wars? I have no idea. That's a lot of speculation. Let's actually jump into the review by taking this out of the package. So your $25 investment gets you... What's that? Is there a screw in here? That's a little screwy, huh? I wonder if that'll be missing from my product, or what we're getting ourselves into here. Now, as we look at the actual packaging itself, we get the same level of relatively cheapy eye protection that you get with a lot of those pro-grade blasters. It does say Primetime Toys on it. I think it's probably the same stuff. This is effectively garbage if you have actual rated eyewear that's comfortable to wear, or realistically anything better with rubberized pads or anything similar. Then you get this fill bottle, which is supposed to make it easier to load the product. Ironically, you get the same fill product full of dehydrated gellets or gel pellets or water BBs. This is 20,000 rounds and set me back 10 bucks. So what you're looking at here was 35 total, and the shipping was actually free from Walmart.com. But you get an empty fill bottle that you could use to hydrate rounds, and then you get a pack of 500 and 500, so you get 1,000 rounds, which will load you up. Now, these are obviously non-reusable ammo pieces, but with a 120 round hopper, that'll get you pretty close. Now, we've got a safety and a fire on here. So by putting it in F, you can use the trigger, and in safety, you can't. Then it auto retracts, but leaves out here. And this feels a lot like some of the less expensive Dart Zone blasters, like their revolvers and their single shot pistols, but it's definitely got some power behind it when you go to prime. And I guess we can go ahead and fire. And it's a pretty simple Springer based system. Now we've got traditional Dart Zone rail up top, and the grip is, albeit a little bit small, this is definitely for entry level gel blasting. So I'd be excited to see if there's ever a pro version, but it says on here Hydro Strike Nebula, Hydro Strike Nebula powered by PTDZ, and then it's got all of the usual warning accoutrement that we're used to. It would appear that this, I guess I could read the instructions. Maybe I should. There's a detent. There we go. So it does just, it pulls back here, and then that opens this up. I don't think that it's inexpensive. It's definitely not cheap, but it's also not the same like level of quality that you would get with something like the $200 gel blasters, or more to the point, it's not quite at the level of like a DZP. It's definitely at like Nexus Aeon levels of quality and build. The overall barrel you can see through the clear hopper up here, and I believe that you'd be able to hold 120, 120, or 7.5 millimeter beads in there. Let's see what it says. The overall hydration time is. It talks about the trigger slide, talks about the accessory slide, which is comical because Dart Zone knows what a tactical rail is. So the question becomes, why, as a Walmart exclusive thing, are they calling it an accessory slide? There's more to this mystery to be uncovered. But we've got one accessory slide on top, which I feel like you wouldn't want to use because it makes it inaccessible to get at your hopper. And then you have one accessory slide on the bottom, which I guess if you were a very serious gel warrior, you could put a laser or a light on there. Definitely pistol category, obviously very holsterable, very compact. It's about the minimum size that I think you could get away with, which has industrial advantages in terms of shipping and cost on shelf, but it has advantages for us in terms of the actual utility of the product. So we're gonna do a little time skip here. We're gonna get this thing hydrated and we're gonna take it outside, put it over the chronograph, give you our thoughts. All right, guys, so we're out here with the old Nebula Pro. It's hard not to call it the Nexus Pro, but you know, it is what it is. We went ahead and we loaded in. These rounds are lime green. They took about 3 hours to hydrate completely, and they look distinctly different than the other ones because normally the water BBs are like transparent and these are very opaque. So we've set it to fire mode. We've gone ahead, we've, you know, primed it. It's a gravity feed hopper, so it's not the most advanced of technology, but we're gonna test the FPS first. Dang. So 165, that can't possibly be right. 151. And I guess the non-uniform nature of this is insane that it's getting the same performance as like the full auto multi-$100 ones, but it's so inconsistent. We're getting, you know, 190s, 201, error, 198, 185. The one interesting thing, 203. So it's certainly, when they say up to 160, they mean it. Now, in terms of the overall accuracy here, I've got a box down here at about 30 feet, and I just, you know, with no previous sighting and certainly no optics on here, we're, well, you know, it's pretty... And that one kind of went wide because it burst in the barrel, seemingly. So how on target you are kind of depends on how stable you want to get with it. And given that it's a Springer and not full auto, the 120 rounds last forever, seemingly. I mean, your reload cycle is pull, fire, pull, fire, pull, fire, and it's much slower if you actually line up and try and hit your target. As far as the chronograph data goes, it's very promising, and I think that the ability to, you know, and I have quite the pocket set up here. I actually brought this out so that I could show you. This is, you know, 500 rounds in a vial, how easy it would be to theoretically kind of speedball style on the fly top it off. But I thought that I would be able to empty it over the course of the video, and that certainly isn't happening. The way that this is angled, you can kind of slap it down, which is pretty convenient. As far as its holsterability goes, I mean, these are pretty serious pockets in the Katanica pants, but you could draw and fire very readily out of them. I think that overall the system definitely has merits, and I think that if you were on the fence about the Hydro Strike or just gel blasters in general, right? I think that this is a valid kind of approach to that, and it's certainly inexpensive, and you don't have to fool with lipos or Li-ion batteries. You don't have to charge anything. You're not going to get that kind of airsoft level like brrr, full auto thing going on, but you could certainly compete with the quote-unquote big boys, and all for, you know, under 30 bucks, which is pretty crazy. What's up, puppies? Oh, the chase is on. That is, I guess, a concern with these is I don't know if I would want them anywhere near animals. They do dehydrate really quickly, and then they go back to being kind of the pellets, but I'd just be cognizant of that if they don't burst. I don't think that they're flavored or anything. Are they toxic? Here, we'll put it to the test. If we're willing to put it in the yard. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think animals would eat those, actually. Those are... Maybe that's intentional that they taste terrible, or maybe it's consequential. It's hard to say, but that is our review of the Nebula Pro. I think a very sneaky include. In regards to my my missing screw in the box, I have all of the screws in the blaster, so who knows? Kind of interesting, kind of quirky, definitely different. You're gonna preserve your ammo significantly more over the long run using a Springer in this category, and I haven't even seen Springers in this category. I think that all of the full auto ones we've been using are technically AEGs, so they are Springers, but flywheels wouldn't work with something like this, and air blasters are specifically, I feel like the burst of air would break the water BBs. So I think that they're all gonna be Springers. This one's just manual, I suppose is what I should say. But overall, pretty compelling, not a bad profile. And as long as I've got you guys' attention and we're talking about that, I'll throw a link to it in the description box below. But if you missed our mod guide on the rival Pathfinder, we went ahead and gave it a pretty slick tactical paint job, added a magazine release that delivers the hits, and then we upgraded the grip as well as the stock, giving the stock some onboard round storage if you wanted to be able to top off in that way as well. We didn't do anything to the spring performance on it, but we definitely think that it's a significant ergonomic improvement. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can check that out on foamproshop.com. But that's our review of the Nebula. A quick shout out to our last video, and thank you guys so much for watching. Much love. Blast on, Drac out.